So welcome to Everything Computerized. I'm CA, and today in this video I'm going to show you how you can run Python programs on Visual Studio Code. So watch this video till end and let's get started. So the very first thing that we need to do is install Python and Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is just a text editor with lots of features. So in order to run programs on it, we first need to install the desired language translator. So in our case, the language is Python. So we will be needing to install Python interpreter first. So make sure that your computer is connected to internet before going over these steps. So head over to a web browser and then you need to search for Python. And now head over to the link that says www.python.org. And now you need to hover over the downloads tab and then you need to click on this button that is Python 3.11.0, and this will download the latest version of Python depending upon your system. One thing that you need to note here is Python is now available only for 64-bit version of Windows. So if you are running any older version of Windows that is 32-bit, or if it is lesser than Windows 8 that is Windows 7 or below, then you are not going to download this version. You need to download an older version of Python for that. I've already made a detailed video on this, so you can watch that video. I will be giving the link in the description as well as in the cards above. So once you have downloaded the Python interpreter, you need to click on that, and then you need to click on this checkbox that says add Python to path, and then you need to click on install now, and then now you need to click on yes, and it will start installing the Python interpreter. It will take some time, so let the installation to finish. And now you can see that the installation is finished. Click on close, and now let's search for VS Code. So just go to the search bar and then search for VS Code, and now head over to the very first link that is code.visualstudio.com, and now you need to click on download, and then now here you need to download the user installer. So just click on this 64-bit button here right next to the user installer label. So click on that, and then after a few seconds your download will begin. I've already downloaded the Visual Studio Code, so I'll not download it again. So let's close everything out and then let's go to our this PC, and then let's install the VS Code. So now our installation wizard is in front of us. Click on I accept the agreement. Click on next, click on next, click on next, and now I will check all of the boxes here, and now click on next and click on install. I've also made a detailed video on installation of Visual Studio Code, so if you want you can check that out. I will be giving the link in the description as well as in the cards above. So now you can see that our Visual Studio Code has now been installed. Click on finish, and now you can see our Visual Studio Code is in front of us. So let's maximize the window. So I'll just close the get started window here, and now this is the interface of Visual Studio Code. So we have now installed Visual Studio Code as well as Python on our system. Let's just check if Python is added to our path or not. So you need to just go to start, and then you need to search for CMD, and then you need to click on that, and then now you need to run pip and press enter. So if you're getting this type of output, then you're good to go, but if not, then you need to install Python correctly and add it to your path. So if you're not added Python to path, I've given the link of that video in the description. You can check that out so that you can add Python to path as well. So assuming that you have Python as well as Visual Studio Code installed correctly, I'll be moving forward. So before getting started, we first need to open any folder as a project in Visual Studio Code. So let's minimize this tab. And now I will create a new folder here. So I'll go to new and then click on folder, and I'll give this any name. So I'll name it my Python projects. And now we have to open this folder as Visual Studio Code project. So I will right click on that and I will click on open with code. So what this will do is it will open that folder as a Visual Studio Code project. So just click on this checkbox and then click on yes, I trust the authors. And now it will open up that folder as my Python project. And if somehow you don't get this option of open with code here, so what you can do is that you can just open the Visual Studio Code normally by going to start and then you need to click on file and then click on open folder. And now here you can choose the location of the folder that you want to open. So I will go to desktop, and now I will click on this folder that I have just created now, and then click on select folder, and then this will automatically open that folder as a Visual Studio Code project. So now what we need to do at this point is we need to create a Python file. So for that, what you can do is double click on this left hand side panel, and you need to give the name of the file. So I will give the name as main, 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 and then I will end this file name with the Python extension. So that is .py. So this is the file extension of Python, and when you press enter, it will create the Python file automatically. And now after some time you can see that we have got a prompt from VS Code, and it is asking if we want to install the Python extensions. So what you need to do is click on install, and it will automatically show you the Python extension that brings the support for Python in VS Code. So just click on install, and it will take some time, and it will install the Python extensions that are required for Python to work on VS Code. Make sure that your computer is connected to internet so that it can download the extension and install it on your system. It will take some time, so wait for it to finish. So till then, let's write some Python programs. So I'll just click on this tab here, and I'll just write some Python programs. So once you have written a Python program here, you need to save the file. So just press Ctrl plus S combination, or you can just go to File and then click on Save. So it will save the file. So the Python extension is installed, and now it is showing us the getting started window for the Python development. So what we can do is just close this window because we know what we need to do. So let's go to the file explorer in the VS Code. And now what we need to do is we need to select the Python interpreter for our project. So suppose your system has multiple Python interpreters installed. For example, if you are using virtual environments, then what you can do is you can just click on this thing here in the status bar, and then it will show us the Python interpreter path. So I'm just having this Python 3.11.0 interpreter installed onto my system. But if you have different Python interpreters installed, it will show you all of the lists of the Python interpreters that are discoverable to VS Code. So because I have only one, so I'll just select this thing here, and it will select the Python interpreter that you've just selected. So we have Python ready to work with. So I have my Python program written here. So in order to run the Python code, what you need to do is you need to go to this top right corner here, and then you need to click on this drop down menu, and then you need to click on run Python file. So what this will do is it will open up the terminal of VS Code, and then it will run the Python code. So you can see that we have got our output of the program that we just wrote here. So this is how you can run Python programs on VS Code with the help of Python extensions that VS Code provides us. So if this video was helpful, don't forget to leave a like. And if you face any difficulty or if you have any doubts, you can just comment them down. I will try to reach you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.